Hello guys, today we're going to be showing the basic stuff that the new faction player on VanityMc should know. So as you can see, I just spawned here on Runic Realm, and everybody spawns in with the same inventory: iron armor and a satanic hoe, satanic rod, as well as some speed potions and interpulse. They do actually matter in the beginning, because whenever you start, you want to start since when the server restarts, because you are going to try to get a corner, and there's like a necessity. You can still buy it from somebody else, because big factions tend to get more than one corner and then sell them off. But yeah, it would be good to actually get one for yourself. If you do slash warp, there are different realms that you can go to: Netherworld, Endworld, Main World, and Venus World. Different realms have different warps, so you can find more in Heroic or Demonic. As we mentioned now, not only the Runic realm is like the only factions place that you can play on Vanity. Runic is more for the OG factions. You cannot have gem buckets. You have to like gen the walls yourself, couple and water. On Runic, on Demonic and Heroic, you get more OP factions. Let's say you get gem buckets, you get fly, and you get a bunch of other stuff. So what is main here is that you have to grind sugarcane. This is like the main economy in Vanity. Some people say that fishing is like a good kind of economy as well, grinding mobs or making a huge like cactus farm. But from my opinion, grinding sugarcane would be the way to go. If you do slash MC top here, you're gonna see that there are a bunch of players right here. More are the ones that get herbalism. So what you want to do is like you have to try to get number 1, 2, or 3 on herbalism top on MCMMO in order to get some bycraft to help you out on the next season or even the season that you're playing already. So those are the basic stuff in the beginning. After that, what you want to do is set up a box so you can place your spawners at. Placing spawn at the beginning is very important because you will have to gain some value out of those spawners, and you will be placed on a faction. If we do F top, your faction will be placed on F top. This gives you more power and gives the other faction some competition. So after that, making a box, you will make a sugarcane farm. You will have to make a big one, big enough one, in order for you to be able to compete with the others. So what I recommend would be a 6 by 30, so 6 chunk wide and 30 long, in order for you to keep grinding sugarcane for around 1 minute while flying and go back to the other row. There are different designs, so each one can choose for their own. So next, when you grind sugarcane, you receive money and tokens. Money you receive by selling the sugarcane by doing slash sell all, or by doing, or you can get like an enchant which is auto sell, which you put to your hole and your hole auto sells every time your inventory gets full. Other than that, you get a bunch of tokens. In the beginning, you are not going to get a bunch of tokens, but after a while, you're going to start getting more and more. If you do slash upgrade, nice. Right here you can see the slash upgrade. There are a bunch of stuff in here. So you have rare enchants, common enchants, and legendary enchants. These are used for XP. These are only custom enchants that you get from XP and you put on your sword, your armor, your bow, your pickaxe, etc. in order for you to get more stuff. For example, combo 1 is the like a sword enchant that gives you more damage if you keep comboing somebody without getting hit. But what we want to go through right now is a satanic hoe. If we go to the slash upgrades, we can find Distraction, Essence Spirit, Key Hunter, Possess, and Spawner Hunter. Every enchant is necessary, and I would really suggest to get everything to 100 before you're done with it. Except Distraction. Distraction is only gives you haste, and it's only good to 20. After 20 is like just a waste of time, because you get haste 5 and you cannot grind king faster than that. What you want to upgrade first though is Essence Spirit. This is the enchant that gives you more tokens, and this is what you're looking for while you're getting sugarcane, because the tokens are used to upgrade your hoe and then to sell or get demon crates and stuff. So what you want to do first is get your Essence Spirit to 100 and Distraction to 20. After that you upgrade your Possess, get an auto sell book on your hoe and start auto selling. After that you upgrade Key Hunter and Spawner Hunter. This will take quite a while of time because it's quite hard to like grind your way up to Essence 100. After that it will just take 1 or 2 days to get the other enchant. Still, you can buy tokens with Buycraft, and that will give you a bit of a lead. Even though grinding sugarcane is the main deal in here, grinding fishing will be actually a good choice as well if your sugarcane farm isn't that big or if you don't really have the tokens to start off. If you do slash upgrades once again, you can see that on Satanic Hole you have well less enchants. As you see, Fisherman, Angular, and Seven Seas. This gives you more luck to get more fish, and like you catch fish faster, you get more items. You will have to get your fishing up to 750 in order to fish in lava, and that gives you more items. For example, lava armor, which is like fully god armor, but you don't really get it that often. And yet, I will still suggest you the hoe, but with the hoe, you will need around 6 million tokens to max your essence period, while with the rod, you will need only 250k tokens to max it completely. Now that that's all said, I want to go through what a faction should do by itself. So every person starts off without a faction if you're new, and I will really suggest to you to join a new faction. The way you do that is you go to the faction, FU some faction, for example, FU Horror, because I see they're the top faction. They usually have their under the description they have their link to their Discord. Discord is a very big deal in here because players communicate through there, and like the leaders give notifications to the players in order to keep them updated with what's happening with the faction. You will have to get a Discord and join a big faction in order to like pass, but you can still play as a solo player if you're just playing for fun and not going like very competitive. So what you want to do after this is that there's like a week of grace period usually. Here I think it's like 2 days on runic and a week in demonic and heroic. So what you want to do is that during grace period you would need to grind a lot of sugarcane or a lot of fishing and just get a lot of money and spawner value. Right after that, right after the first week, you get the TNT enabled. The TNT will stay enabled for the next 2 weeks, which will be the TNT weeks. So the first week you get payouts, like after the first week of TNT, you get the first payout, and after the second week you get the second hand of payouts. So the payouts are split between the 2 weeks of TNT. If your faction manages to get first, for example, you will get like $225 PayPal on your faction. If the faction gets raided the second day, it will not get any money because you will not be on the top of the leaderboard. But if your faction manages to stay on the top, you will get the reward for it. So if you're starting a faction and not join a big one, for example, with some of your friends or a bunch of group that you were in like some other server, you would need to get a corner, and right after that you would need to trench a base and get the walls going. The cannons here are usually 3 to 4 second speed limit, which means that for somebody to raid you, they would need to, for 10 wall to breach 10 walls, they would need like 40 seconds. Usually there's like a 30 chunk buffer, so you will have like 30 chunk worth of walls. Don't really know how much that is, but there's a bunch. And what you need to do is like camp your walls after TNT gets enabled, so you can like be cautious of when people are gonna raid you, or if somebody is building a cannon box or not to you. You will need like counter cannons, for example, in your walls in order to counter where enemies are gonna start shooting at you. Probably they will not be like you will not be able to breach their cannon, but you that will give you time to patch walls, and that will make like the enemy waste TNT. And yeah, sometimes sorry it's stop here because people don't have enough TNT to finish up a raid. Because raid can go up to like 3, 4 to 5 hours, or maybe a quick raid can be an hour or so. So that was like the basic stuff on factions. The most like common thing on faction demonic and runic is if you do F top, sorry F12 here. Yeah. So if you do F12, it's like the top F12 faction will get the payout for the winning. And right here you can see Triad, Fusion, and Toxic. Triad got the bubble payouts here on Heroic, so they're like pretty good faction. So what happens in Heroic is that the faction doesn't work really with value, unlike Demonic. So whoever has the most value gets the most amount of like on the leaderboard. But here it works with points. So if you do again F top here, you will see the Triad has 30,000 port, Pingu has 29,000, and Fusion has 20,000. So what you want to do is like the way you get points in here is by value, MCMMO, and capturing castle. Castle is if we do slash warp dark zone. Castle is the event or let's say a place that you have to capture in order to get points, and it stays on dark zone. You cannot go out of dark zone if I do slash spawn right here. You cannot go out of dark zone except if you go to like the portal, let's say, to the portal that is like on the southeast of the corner here. What you want to do in here is capture castle 2 because if you do slash castle, there are two different castles, castle 1 and castle 2. As you can see, castle 1 gives you 5 million every 15 minutes, 1.5 XP as cell multiplier, double MCMMO, permanent health boost, and access to dungeon loot. Dungeon loot is very important because you can get spawners and shards from it, which you trade for spawners. But what Castle 2 does is that it gives you 200 points every hour. So what the big faction does is they try to cap the castle for the longest time, for example 20 hours, and they manage to get 2000 points out of it. Usually people like other factions try to compete for it, so will not be able to cap it for 20 hours, but you should try to do your best to cap it for at least 1 hour so you get the points. And if you get more than that, it's like a bonus. The other part is if you are one of the top wealth factions, you will get 2000 points for the first place, and then it goes 200 lower for each position you are lower than that. So second place gets 1800 and third place gets 1600. The other one is the daily MCMMO grind. So the whole faction grinds MCMMO during the whole day, and if you do slide now slash MC topper again, oh, I can then do on this area, no problem. So every member of the faction should grind MCMMO in order to be the top faction that grinded MCMMO that day. This is not a long-term thing, it's like only the day. So for one day, for example, the whole faction has grinded a ton of MCMMO that will make you get the number one on MC top for the day, and that will give you 750 points for it. The second faction will get 500, the third faction will get 250. What you want to do is you need to get as much points as you can on the first 2 weeks. So on the Gears period in the first week of the TNT period, this was the portal. You go to the war zone. After that, you can go slash spawn and go back to safety. Still, if you're on the war zone, you're still you still have risk to get targeted in there. Sorry about that, I do cut there, like a little bit of a glitch. So what your faction wants to do is like get the top points by the end of the second week, so the first week of TNT. Same with the third week, but hopefully you will be able to keep the points by there. What happens after, so for example, the way you gain points from other factions now is you raid them. If you raid a faction that has, for example, 10,000 points, you will get 25% of their points, which means you can raid their value as well. But the 25% points mean that you're going to get 2,500 from that faction will lose 2,500 points. And if you raid a bunch of factions, that those points stack up, but what matters a lot is like raiding the top faction in order for them to go lower and you to go higher, in order for you to get the first place. Now, I mentioned a little about grinding, raiding, etc., but PvP is like a major thing here as well. You will not be only like the thing is you are not only gonna PvP in the server. It's not gonna work for you like that. If you're on the PvP faction, this is not the server for you because you cannot compete with the others who grind a lot. But yet you need to PvP for different events. For example, there is a cult, and if you manage to cap cult, you will get a double 12 hours of double drops from your mobs, as well as a cult key. From the cult key, you can get a bunch of different stuff. Let me like just show you right now. Every key is important, so you can get 25 million, 20 million, a bunch of tokens, spawners, faction tokens, as well as warlord kits, helmets, which are like Prot 5, very rare, Sharp 6 sword, Sharp 6 axe, as well as free MCMMO points. What you do by capturing calls, you get like call top, which gives you Bycraft as well as PayPal. Sometimes I think that first place gets $25 PayPal. So yeah, PvPing is like something that you should do as well. It's not like only grinding. PvPing should be done as well to capture castle. In order to hold it, you have to fight other faction to not capture it for you, from you. This guy's chasing me. Hello. And now for the last thing that I want to talk about in here is the ranks. So if I do slash tab, you can see that there are like a couple of different. I have the YouTuber rank, but it doesn't really matter. For example, there's the Vanity rank, Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Hulk. Each realm has its different rank, so if you want to have a rank in each realm, you have to buy it in each one. You can buy it for PayPal or from Buycraft, which you win with events. Which I suggest you to buy with Buycraft because it's PayPal, it's like a waste, but still you can do whatever you want. As well as you can see, this guy opened a rank, he won a permanent Iron Man kit rank. That is another way, but it's quite hard to get ranks from that. You can buy ranks within the game as well. People usually sell them on AH for different prices. Bigger rank go for around 100 million, and small ranks go up to 5 million, 10 million, and different prices. So it's possible to get it only with game and not real money. I would suggest for you to, for each server, to get the rank that gives you slash fly, which is like very important and on the wilderness, because you can fly on your faction land, but you cannot fly in the wilderness unless you have a good rank. For example, on Demonic Realm, you have the Demo rank that gives you Fly in the Wilderness, and after that rank, it's like just cosmetic stuff. A bunch of more PVs, but they don't really do much help. So what I would suggest is just get the the rank that gives you /fly, and that will help you on your faction a lot. Other than that, I think we covered everything right here. For the keys part, you can buy keys from the shop, you get keys from grinding sugarcane, etc. You get keys for doom/reclaim if you do have a rank. And keys help a little, but not really. Like, they help you if you have a lot of them. But only one key is not going to make such a difference. So don't waste your money on buying keys. Try to grind sugarcane and you will get keys in the meantime. So yeah, that was basically it. If I forgot anything, I might make another video. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. And yeah, see you on the next one. Please subscribe.